Welcome back, guys. We have got a very, very cool custom to talk about today. This was another one that was loaned in from Chris at Thai Addiction YouTube channel, link down below. He lent in the beautiful, amazing Rockstead that I actually dropped a video on yesterday. So he also sent in this very cool Hara knife. This is the Noah, and it is a full custom, even though it says limited edition here. It is a one of one that Chris actually talked with Do about, and they collaborated, and Do built this specifically for Chris. So that makes it even more special, right? It's cool when I buy a custom knife. Oftentimes I buy them on the secondary, or there might have been, there's been a couple, like my TJ Fisher King Kamehameha. I quote unquote collaborated with TJ. We talked about the build before he built it, so I knew what to expect and what I was getting. There was another big knife that I worked with the custom knife shop here in California on to match my bodega. I had them build me a Bugatti. So those are probably the only two knives that I've really had input on. Now, I own a lot of other customs. This Frederick knife custom, these two Hellraiser customs. I just bought them because I like them, because they were for sale on the secondary. So to actually be involved and have something made for you is very cool. However, it's not my favorite thing to do, because there's so many materials out there and so many different things. I get kind of overwhelmed, and I can't really, I'm afraid to kind of make a decision and say, oh, I want that blade with that material and this and that, because I don't know what's really going to look good together, maybe. And forgive the fingerprints. This knife, man, you look at it and it starts to get some fingerprints. But you can see right there, one of one right on the mirrored pocket clip. And it's an interesting build of the pocket clip. And we'll get into specs and we'll go through the whole thing. But this is just awesome. I love how this is just one big piece that's kind of milled out. And it's got some kind of texturing on the edges of the pocket clip. Mother of pearl inlays. DLC coated pivots and hardware. Just amazing. Okay, now before I get too involved, let me talk about, so it did come with a certificate of authenticity, and here you can read the materials. This is the Noah version, 30-layer raindrop Damascus with a deep etch for the blade. Titanium Flowmascus is the scales. Not exactly sure what Flowmascus is, but it's, probably like Damascus and all of those things. It's a Damascus made out of different types of titanium, right? That's just how life is. 440 stainless, 420 stainless liners. And this was made just in December. So it's brand new. Has an amazing action. And that blade, beautiful. I love a dark finished Damascus. It's just beautiful to me. All right, so before we zoom out, here is Du's contact information. He is in Japan. Chris talks to him all the time, and he's very approachable. And I will put a link to his Instagram down below. I think that's kind of the best way to reach out to him right now. So, yeah, I love a Tonto. I love a slight recurve. The blade is fantastic. It feels good in the hand. Full-size knife. Okay. And it works really well in the pocket. I do like a liner lock. The more I handle knives, the more liner lock is really becoming one of my favorites, because so many knives that I have had recently, the pressure that you put on the lock side with a frame lock just affects the action so much. And there's been a couple of knives where the slightest bit of lock pressure, pressure on the lock bar, and you can't open it, or you're killing your finger to bypass that pressure on the lock bar. So for me, a liner lock right now today is my preferred. So the specs on this thing is 5 inches closed. Let's see, can you finger flick it? Yes. Although I still think that's kind of a silly and foolish way, and it's my least favorite way to open a knife. I think it's dumb, but that's just me. And Jim Skelton, I mentioned that in a video recently I did, and he messaged me and says, "Oh, thanks for saying that," because I think the same thing. So it's 5 inches closed, 8 3/8 overall, 3.41 blade length, and cutting edge. Behind the edge is 0.20 on the main belly, the recurve part, and a little bit thicker to 0.25, I think, on the Tonto side, which makes perfect sense to me because you want a little bit more strength up here in the front and a little thinner here for cutting. Okay. Blade thickness is 0.134. Overall thickness is 0.548, and it weighs in at 7.1 ounces. So it's not light, but it doesn't feel heavy either. And it runs on bearings. That's why you have such a phenomenal action. So this is a 1 of 1. Now, Du is the son of Koji Hara, another world famous knife maker who did a lot of art knives. And if your father is a knife maker, there's a good chance that you're going to help him in the shop and kind of just learn the business some growing up, which is what Du did. So he worked with his father for like 20 years. Well, if you're working with somebody, I don't care who you are or what you're doing, after 20 years, if you're not very proficient at whatever you're doing, well, then you're kind of an idiot and you need to find something else to do. Okay? So he picked up a lot of good things. And then also, as I did a little bit of looking around on Du, he actually came to the States and worked with Anthony Marfione for like 2 years and learned a lot of stuff from Tony that he didn't know or hadn't learned from his father because, well, they did things differently in different countries. Hell, they do things differently in different parts of this country. So he got a lot of valuable information and talent and techniques working with Tony Marfione. And then after about 2 years, went back to Japan and came up with the Noah model that you see here. Well, not maybe the exact one that you see here, but he came up with the Noah lineup. So let's do a couple size comparisons here with the Sharpie and the pencil. Now, Chris has been talking to Du and told him that I was going to be doing a video. So Du said, yeah, please have him give out all my contact information, which I did. So if you're interested in something like this, here it is next to the Spyderco Delica. If you're interested in something along these lines, whether it's this fancy or less fancy, hit him up. AA and D cell batteries. And since we talked customs, let's go with the Hellraiser. And since we're really talking customs, let's go with the Frank Fisher Battle, because we're talking Tonto recurve. How can we not talk about the Battle? So I'm just honored that Chris sent me a brand new custom to check out along with the Rockstead. So let me know what you guys think about something like this, customs in general. And please go check out Tie Addiction YouTube channel down below. Check out the Rockstead video over here. And go check out Do on his Instagram. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.